We're rolling. All right, episode 41. We're back, baby. The Eric and Tony show. And we have a very special guest today, JR. We were anticipating this for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I'm a busy man, so I had to like scribble you in where I saw fit.
Yeah. But I wanted to like jump on the heat of this whole like hip hop fucking beef thing. But then so much has even involved in the last week.
I'm low-key happy that this happened this week and there have been so many updates and it wasn't just stagnation in this
like
little
random updates too. Like
you guys can fill me in because I have no fucking clue about any of this beef or what's going on.
Okay, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta like lay it out. Like what is happening? You guys tell
We're
me.
jumping right into this without a real intro.
Yeah.
As far as who we are, but hey, since we're here, bring Eric to the initial Kendrick diss track, right? And then what that happened to where we're at now.
Okay, so if you want to be really real, this starts back in 2010, right?
Okay.
When Drake was on his first tour promoting Take Care. Around that time, the other leading acts coming out of music were like the Tyler, the Creators, the A$AP Rockies. But the only person who was looking like competition to Drake was Kendrick Lamar. Drake actually brought Kendrick on his first nationwide tour. He brought him and A$AP Rocky. And then while he was on tour, he spent all this time stamping him like, yo, he's the next up, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And the rest of the world followed suit soon after. Like the Coachella where there was a hologram Tupac and like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg crowned Kendrick as the king of LA. That was like a year and some change afterwards.
Okay.
So fast forward to 2013 now. You know Big Sean, right?
Sure.
Okay. Big Sean.
I know Big Sean, yeah.
Okay, cool. Big Sean, big artist from Detroit, dropped this song called Control. On this song, he has this artist named Jay Electronica, but he also has Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is coming off the heels of Good Kid, Mad City, his most critically acclaimed album, the one that really put him on the map and cemented him as a household name.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar dissed like 12 people by name, saying he wanted to murder them lyrically on that song. Tyler, Big Crit, A$AP Rocky, Drake, J. Cole, he called him Jermaine, Mac Miller, the list goes on. So ever since he stamped that, Drake has adamantly said like, I wasn't really rocking with that. Like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So they've always been sending jabs since then. So you could see this is very premeditated. We're like still 11 years in the past.
Yeah.
So for time's sake, I'll fast forward to 2024, right?
Yeah.
When it started getting spicy again. Future and Metro Boomin dropped their album, We Don't Trust You, which was crazy because I've never seen a diss album. It wasn't a diss song. It was a diss album. They sat here, made 12 songs, and got everyone who doesn't fuck with Drake to play a verse talking about why they don't fuck with Drake. But
is there any good reason behind it? Like, do they have like a good reason why they don't fuck with Drake? Like, is he an asshole or is he a dick or is he? I
mean, it's a case by case basis, but a lot of the fucking claims sum up to, oh, he fucked my girl. Future, I heard Future's mad that he did a collab album with 21 Savage because he did a collab album with Future first, but it's just like, you can't have total like control of who Drake can like make an album with. Like that's there hasn't been anything that people have brought up that sounded like it couldn't be resolved. It's usually women or like egos.
Yeah, it sounds like these guys are just little bitches. Like it sounds like not knowing any of this stuff. It just sounds like if someone were to talk shit about you, or if you were an artist, if you're just in your lane and just fucking keep cranking out stuff, like what does it matter? Like like let them say whatever they want. Like I find it so weird that like a artist would like go out of their way to like say something about that. Of like I would imagine they have millions of people that hate them. You know, not just like one guy like happens to be famous as well. So it's like, why make such? It's almost like it is like they plan to do it to like we're talking about it now. You
like
know?
they set up a coup.
Yeah. Like it's like a whole like, all right, this will generate more money if we have beef and like like they're actually friends. They're like laughing and shit, playing Xbox at home. Like this is fucking great. Like we're just making so much more money now.
But the thing is, it actually kind of hurts money because a lot of these diss songs like. In the art of rap beef, you don't have time to submit something to DistroKid and then wait 5 to 7 days for it to get submitted and uploaded to DSPs. You got to go into a studio and then you're going to upload it on SoundCloud and then you're going to let the work speak for itself. And the people are going to decide how much time the other person has to respond based on their talent level and how crazy you came at them.
Yeah.
But Future and Metro Boomin made this whole album with features from everyone who doesn't like Drake. It was a very calculated move. And then the standout feature on that was Kendrick Lamar. The standout verse from that was, you know how people refer to the big three in hip hop as J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Aubrey Graham, Drizzy Drake?
Mm.
Okay. Well, that's word around the streets.
That's what the big three is now?
Yeah,
I thought it was like Tupac, Biggie, and like
current
Dre or something. Like, isn't that
since 2010, that's been the big three.
Okay. Okay.
Which is kind of surreal that we haven't had anyone to pass the torch to in that 12, 13 years. But yeah, the big three, Cole, Kendrick, Drake. Kendrick said, fuck that. There is no big three. It's big me, boy. Yeah. I'm the only one who's gotten a Pulitzer Prize off my music. What the fuck are we talking about? So Drake didn't take kindly to that. And the craziest thing is then J. Cole makes a diss album.
Yeah.
Like the next week.
And here's the thing about J. Cole. He's like a real like, conscious rapper and stuff. Like Drake puts out fucking like, chart topping like radio hits.
I literally only know Drake is like the guy that cries in the memes or whatever. Like has like sad meme things. Like, I don't
J. Cole shit sounded like the second MC Hammer album when he tries to be like street and shit. It was just really out of left field. Didn't fucking like even play well. And then he did like the apology like a day later and then took the album down.
He threw his festival in his hometown in front of 80,000 people and said, yo, you know that diss I made on Kendrick? I'm not gonna lie, that didn't sit right with my spirit. Then why the fuck did you hop in the beef?
Yeah.
No, that's like me seeing you two fight.
Yeah.
And me slapping Tony and then apologizing to Tony while you guys are still fighting. Now you're both looking at me like a bitch.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck did you get involved with this for?
Why'd you step in this?
Yeah.
So it gets crazier, right? So, you know how I told you Future and Metro dropped that diss album on Drake a few weeks ago?
Okay.
Yeah.
Last week they dropped another one, right? The first one was We Don't Trust You. This one's We Still Don't Trust You. And then they got a bunch of more people who don't like Drake as featured. They got The Weeknd singing, talking shit about Drake.
No shit.
Really?
They got A$AP Rocky being like, I know you want to fuck my baby mama, but I have her.
So there got to be something. He must be like a shady dude if everyone fucking hates his ass.
Or they're just opportunists.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit of both. Because
I guess so. I mean, like, why would you
chasing thing, man?
Like, I feel like The Weeknd is like.
He's
like, why would he do it? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like he just sings like
yeah, he's the biggest figure on the planet. He doesn't need to be doing this for promo. So I think that it's genuine. But I didn't guess who was on the album? Guess who was on the album? The Future and Metro Boomin album.
Beyonce.
Kanye.
J. Cole.
Oh, really?
Tell me why there was a J. Cole record on the diss album to Drake a week after he just apologized to Kendrick.
That's hilarious.
No, J. Cole needs to sit down somewhere. He got revoked from this big three conversation as soon as he started copping pleas. Before the fight even started.
Yeah.
Like, Kendrick hasn't even responded to anybody yet.
So is any of this music good, though?
I'm not going to lie. We're getting to that. After Jermaine did that shit, Drake drops a diss track on Kendrick called Drop and Give Me 50. And that line is so nuanced because it has so many meanings. Like, there's so many cool bars, but the Drop and Give Me 51, I'll focus on that. It's like, he signed to Top Dog Entertainment, which is like an independent label out of LA, based out of the Bloods. He's pretty much saying his label's extorting him and he's signing a joint venture where not only did he have to give them 50% of his earnings from everything, touring, masters, publishing, show appearances, brand deals.
Oh, wow. But
to get out of his deal and start his new label, PG Lang, he had to give them $50 million. So no. When I read the bars of what Drake was saying, I'm like, nah, he can't call with it. He can't call. I thought that shit was super cool. What I did not think was cool is 2 days ago when he dropped a second diss track with AI Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
What?
Why the fuck are you putting AI voices of people that are still alive on your song? That looks weird.
Yeah.
So did Snoop Dogg?
He was also AI too.
Did Snoop Dogg say anything?
Yes, he said.
Why did you do that?
He pretty much said, "What I got to do with this?"
Yeah. What the fuck?
And you're lucky Snoop Dogg like gets the internet and like posts memes and trolls it a little bit because most old people would not appreciate someone recrafting their voice. That would scare the fuck out of them.
How old is Snoop now?
Fucking almost 60 years old, bro.
Yeah.
No way.
So yeah, imagine if fucking someone AI generated your grandpa's voice and had him saying a bunch of crazy shit. That would fuck him up.
He was on a diss track, but grandpa's on a diss track.
So yeah, this whole beef has been lunacy and.
But so is the music any good though? Like it,
the drop and give me 50
like if you have no idea what the fuck this beef is and you're just like hear a song, are you like, oh, this song is like cool, it's got a good beat, it's got a good.
That's the thing about Drake though. Drake, his talent when it comes to rap beef is he can make a beef song. Like I feel like the best people in beefs are the ones who just say the most disrespectful shit. It doesn't have to be all nuanced and shit. Think about Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah.
Like when
that is
Tupac
the ultimate fucking
that's
diss
when
track.
I fuck your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
And the beginning, here's the thing. It was not, there was
Wasn't a
zero things added on.
That's how that shit hit.
Yeah.
And then the final like fucking 30 seconds, just like getting everybody from Mobb Deep and just like going in, and you're like, I'm talking about you specifically, not this like roundabout like talking about someone with their like, you know, identifying characteristics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like making a diss song like Drake does, where you sub someone a bunch of times, fucking, and then people have to use critical thinking and context clues to see who you're alluding to.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. I like when you rip their head off.
Yeah.
Like Drake on that Give Me 50 song, because Metro Boomin's been curating this whole fucking plot and making all these songs against him. You know the producer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He said, Metro Boomin, shut the fuck up and make some drums, nigga. And that's the energy I want from a diss song, like a diss record, bro. Because when he was going back with Meek, that shit was cool. When he was like, it's a world tour, your girls tour, but it was still like poppy.
Yeah.
Now he's rapping. Now he's like, I want your feelings to be hurt.
Yeah.
When people play this next to you in the car.
Yeah.
Type shit. And that I'm liking that a lot.
When did Rick Ross get caught up in this whole fucking
Rick
thing?
Ross submitted himself into this shit after Drake threw a couple subs when he was dissing Kendrick. And then Rick Ross, after the Kendrick diss came out there, he caught a couple strays, dropped the diss track 2 hours later. Talk about Drake got a BBL and all this crazy shit. Rick Ross is funny though. I've always thought Rick Ross was funny.
Yeah, because there was like there's a whole bunch of shit because he was calling him a white boy and then like saying he got a nose job and a whole bunch of just like crazy left field shit.
Yeah, and then he got caught up with my boy 1090 Jake, who I don't know if you follow him on YouTube, but you should subscribe to his channel, End of Sentence. And his claim to fame is first it was like breaking down crazy criminal cases in Florida because all the case files are easily accessible.
Huh. Okay.
So all those Florida man stories, he's breaking it down in very explicit detail. But then once he started getting more acclimated into hip hop, he was just like, do you know how many of these motherfuckers you think are gangsters have told? And then he just started pulling up everyone's paperwork. Word for word. And like, yeah, him and Rick Ross got into it because 1090 is a white boy he's a white blood from Boston. So he didn't take kindly to that. So he went, looked up all of Rick Ross's paperwork regarding him working as a correctional officer for 18 months. Pulled videos of him in training camp hitting an about face in full uniform.
Really?
Yeah. So his beef is with the white boy now. And that's almost more entertaining than the 1090 Jake shit. Because seeing Rick Ross dressed up as a cop, as a CEO is fucking
hilarious.
crazy.
Yeah, that is fucking kind of nuts. I do like some gangster rap though. Like Mobb Deep, that stuff's fucking great to listen to.
How'd you feel if you found out Mobb Deep used to be a bunch of parole officers? That would kind of take the luster from it, right? That's how I felt with Rick Ross watching him in the CEO uniform.
Oh.
No, because Mobb Deep's definitely like street cred. I mean, fucking...
What's that one song where it's like you're listening to the song?
It's like,
you're like, oh my god! If this was like directed at me, like who they're I don't know.
That's
if
also
it's
from like the era of like when hip hop albums, like the first Chronic album, the shit talking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing with the Mobb Deep.
I feel there's like a lot more people getting murdered in like rap, like at that in like the 90s, and there is like now. Now I feel like
can still get murdered in rap.
Yeah, especially in LA, bro. Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, the list goes on.
Yeah,
I feel like the murder is even more nowadays because guns are more accessible, and all the top charting rappers promote that shit crazy.
Yeah, that's just fucking. That just seems like such a waste of like talent and energy, and then like to have like writing a song and writing an album and producing and doing all this shit is like so stressful and like time consuming as is. Then you put like, hey, someone gonna come and kill me or beat me up or fucking like follow me around? Fuck that. Like, why would you even want to do that? It just seems like it would take the fun out of like that whole experience.
Some people live for that adrenaline though. Some people like having all those factors besides the fame. They want the street cred. They want to know that they have to check in certain cities to make sure they're good. And it's a weird mentality, but they like being enamored in that gangster lifestyle because a lot of them start talking about the nuances of someone else's life, and then slowly but surely their circle changes, and then they actually start living it by accident.
Right. Yeah. Or they like live that lifestyle and then they just never get out of it, and they're like, well, now I'm just like wealthy and famous, but I still live in my normal, like, you know, gangster life or whatever. I'm, you know, you don't like really change at all. Now you just have it like on a bigger level.
Have you ever heard of Kodak Black?
I've heard of Kodak Black, yes.
Kodak Black is a prime example of that. Real Florida jit, had permanent gold teeth by 15 years old.
That shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Trump got him out of prison, though, after he, like, tried to shoot that cop.
Really?
Bro, Kodak is a prime example of someone who was too street for the industry. Like, if he did not have a bunch of very business-oriented white people around him, like, micromanaging his life, yeah, he'd be back in the field by choice, even though he makes $200,000 a show.
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
How do you feel about Trump?
Trump's that's a very nuanced take. I liked Trump more when I had a gas powered car because he had the rates super low.
It's hilarious.
I'm in a Tesla now, so I don't have to worry about that shit. Yeah. But
what kind of Tesla you have?
Model 3, navy blue.
Yeah,
stay away from my fucking car. Yeah,
Trump's How do you feel about the Cybertruck?
Cybertruck's cool. I would never drive one. It looks like the DeLorean from back in the future.
It looks like that and like a Pontiac Aztec mated. It's weird. It's just a giant fucking car. We like saw two on the way over here.
I'm just like, who's trying to get you that you need this car that could take machine gun fire?
For sure.
Yeah,
it's ugly. But no, I can't lie. I fuck with Trump because 2020 to 2024 or whenever he was last in term, or 2020 or whatever the fuck, I made more money than I had ever in my life. And mind you, those were my years fresh out of high school, but I started my LLC. Fucking, he gave grants to keep my business afloat for a year and a half. Fucking, my fucking rates on everything were lower. Inflation didn't really bubble until 2021 when fucking Biden came into office. Like, and Trump, for me, I like an honest racist. Hear me out when I say this, right? I think most people in Senate, in Democrats and Republicans, are like, have very hard takes on everything, including who they choose to do business with. And Trump is the only one who I feel like is transparent about his reservations towards other races. I'm way more trusting of an honest racist than a closet racist.
Yeah. Kind of like Chappelle's take, where he was like, I think when he was like hosting SNL, he had said something about Trump where he's like he went out and said the like quiet part out loud. He's like, yeah, like I paid zero taxes. Like I did it because that's how the laws are. And I just like took advantage of the laws. Like what, you know? And so there is that aspect of him that is, I guess, honest. Maybe the only part about him that maybe honest.
But I don't really think you can give him credit for being honest. He's just like oblivious to the fact that what he's like, you know, he's like oversharing basically.
But that ignorance gives me comfortability because he's unloading the clip, which might be a detriment to him. But at least I know where you stand.
For sure. There's no question as to where he stands. Whereas like the other option is like, are you even alive? Like, fucking, like, what the fuck is going on here?
And that's another thing. Trump's 70-something, but at least he's coherent when he's on camera. I look at someone like Joe Biden, I'm like, yo, this is who is holding down the free world. This is our representation to the United Nations. Like, fuck, bro.
I mean, I think
Biden
the same
gets elected
thing,
and dies, and then Kamala gets fucking like thrown up to president and shit. But like,
I think the same thing where like they're the coherent thing where you're like, you listen to Biden and he's like, you know, he's 80 and he's, you know, he stumbles his words and he, you know, he's like got the old man vibe, you know, going on for sure. And then Trump is like the other end of that where he's like, you know, like all fast talking, whatever. But like the content of what they're actually saying, like the things that they're actually saying are far worse on Trump's end than Biden. Biden's, he might like how he speaks might not be as fluid, but the information that he's actually putting out there, it makes sense. Where Trump will just talk for an hour and say that like literally just words, like a word salad, like windmills cause cancer and whales are showing up in Florida. And like
Trump moves like a pimp, like where he just does a bunch of like lingual gymnastics to make it sound like he's saying something deeper. But in the end of the day, he hasn't really come to any conclusion for shit.
Right. Like if you read like his text of any of his speeches or anything that he does, and you just read it as like yourself reading it, You sound like a crazy person.
You sound high as fuck.
Yeah, it sounds like
he's
absolutely
like the kid
nuts.
that's doing like the essay question for a test and just using as many words to fill it up. It's like, it was a very sunny, bright day. How many words do I have left?
Yeah.
And there was
days were sunny.
The skies had clouds, and there was like things.
Fuck, 93 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Doing the fucking count.
No, but I feel like.
How do you feel where like the election will go? Because that's like going to be a huge thing, obviously, and like even with being like okay with an open racist, I guess. Where do you feel the better choice would be as far as like he is saying the quiet parts out loud and is telling you what he wants to do. Do you think that's a better option than someone that maybe isn't saying those quiet parts out loud, or you don't really know what they're thinking?
It depends on how the rest of the world respects them. Like, no matter what you say, people knew when Trump was in office, if you popped it too much, he was going to take whatever action needed. Like, he was on Twitter popping it to North Korea. That's when I was really worried about Trump. I'm like, yo, if he starts World War III over a Twitter beef, that would be the most Gen Z shit I've ever heard in my life. But
fucking also, like, he had
that's
some
the biggest beef.
Comedic gold though when he was talking shit about him. He was like playing with their missiles and just fucking like you couldn't talk more down to somebody who was like a living god to those people of that country.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of have to respect it just coming from the rap scene. Like, this fool moved like a gangster, bro. He really be popping it.
Well, because the whole fucking hip hop industry loved Trump up until he became, president, and then everyone just turned their back on him and showed that. And
then he let out Lil Wayne and Kodak, and now we're back on his side. And he gave fucking black community a bunch of fucking free money that they had a loophole where they could fill out a forgiveness letter and not have to pay anything back. The PPP out here was hidden crazy, bro. I know so many people, including like my 78-year-old grandma, who filed that shit however they did, got a free $40,000.
Yeah, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah,
missed out, man.
And I think if that shit had hit and then you filled out that forgiveness letter, you would be looking at Trump a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Because no other president. During that COVID shit, I got about $70,000 of government funding for my personal and my LLC. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just not a disloyal motherfucker. No one's not going to give me 70 bands. I'm going to sit here on camera and talk shit about them. Like, that's weird. That's super weird.
Yeah, I mean, again, I guess don't bite the hand that feeds. Shit, I mean, you think if he gets in office and you get another like 70 racks?
Shit, if the world hits the fan, if he keeps popping it and we go into World War III, yeah, he's going to have to cash us out.
Yeah.
But think about it. Like, if I hand you $70,000 right now, and then you see me slap a baby on camera, I hope that's not your topic point on next week's podcast. You got to think about what I did for you most recently. That's how I feel about Trump, though. I feel like everyone... It's so weird with the presidency because they have a conglomerate of people pushing their own agendas behind them and then trying to bring other people into the pot to fund their electoral process that also have their own agenda. So they're really just the figurehead. So I always figure like, to choose your president, you have to look at the office they're prospecting to put into power. Yeah. Because
or the policies that they're trying to put in place.
Absolutely.
I think that's the more important thing. If you're like, all right, and don't listen to what they say, look at the policies that they're trying to pass, and if they, work together with what they're actually trying to preach to everybody. And then if it's like, oh well, you're trying to promote this, but it's the exact opposite policy that you're pushing, well then you're full of shit. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that's what I always do. I was like, what are you saying to me? And then what does your policy reflect from what you actually told me? And if they line up, then I'm like, okay, that's you're on board with what you're saying. And I just do that over and over and over again.
And that's the hard thing with Trump, because there's a lot of takes that people think are blasphemous that I really sit down and I'm just like, I see where he's coming from. Like, I'm from San Diego, right? Mm-hmm. So when he's talking about like building a wall and preserving jobs for the U.S. Population, all that shit, I get it because I see the direct impact in my personal life. Like at 16, it was really hard for me to get a job because, I have no work experience and you'll have to pay me minimum wage. Meanwhile, you could take a Mexican from across the border who has no papers and will work for whatever the fuck you give him, but has 10 years of hard labor experience. Yeah. So it does make it difficult in things like that. And I see,
because I used to do construction. So when I moved out here, they was oversaturated with like immigrant labor and shit. So like it basically forced me out of a job, which in turn, I would have like my body would have rotted at some point in time anyway. So it's like a weird promotion you have because it's just like you're giving these people a chance to come in and better themselves. Because all the guys I worked with when I was doing construction, they would send like fucking like majority of their check back home to help out their family. So like they're all living together. It was like a really noble thing. I was like, yeah, man, it changed my opinion on that. Because coming from Wisconsin, I was like, we got to close these borders. Like, then all of a sudden you get out here and you're like, yeah, I get why. I mean, if I go to fucking Canada and make like 10 times what I make, I would be fucking over that border in a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I understand that you got to risk it for the biscuit, but it's like, also, we got to look at what we have at home and how we have such a high unemployment rate. And now we're in an economy where people just got a free 70 bands and they ran through that shit. So now they don't really want to work. Yeah. So it's hard to find high quality employees. So it's easier for a company or an organization to want to just pay a bunch of people under the table. But I feel like for us at home, it does us a disservice because you need as many kids learning how to cash a check at 16 and just build up that discipline to be clocking in and out of work. I feel like that's important for here.
I think like the easiest solution to all that is like everyone blames like the people that have immigrated here and are being paid to do like cheap labor. It's like, well, they're being paid by 9 times out of 10, it's a white guy that owns a company that's hiring those people. So why don't you just put like a restriction for any company that hires someone that is an illegal immigrant or doesn't, go through the citizen process properly. And then you find those companies because they can't have a job if they don't get hired, and if they're getting paid from somebody, you just find the source and then that stops.
I think that's already like in place. It's just like, who's the company that's going to go around, like, what bureau is going to go around and shake everyone down and make sure they have paperwork and stuff. That's like
it's ICE, bro. I've seen it. Like I used to work security at this hotel called the Wyndham over in Hillcrest, like the gay area of San Diego. And I remember it was a trans pool party one day, and I'm sitting here posted up, and there was some little door lady, and I just remember seeing like an officer talking to her. Soon as she lets him in, like 19 other cops, full body armor, swarm into the hotel, and they beeline it straight to the kitchen, bro. I find out throughout the day this is ICE, and they already got a tip that there were a bunch of immigrants working at this hotel. They lost over half their staff overnight.
That's crazy. Shit.
So no, I've seen the direct impact of that shit, and it must be such a disheartening feeling to like work with the Minutemen, cross the border, actually make it, not get detained. Find somewhere that'll employ you, get consistent, and then just have that stripped away.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's another reason, like, I'd rather just nip it in the bud because the heartache that brings, like, the butterfly effect to the family when you could otherwise look for a situation that was
dude, some of those people, like, when ICE picks them up, they don't just get sent back. They get, like, bounced around, like, our legal system and shit. And so they're moving around. Like, there was some dude they were tracking during, like, the pandemic that was, like, picked up in LA and then went to fucking, like, Ohio or some shit, and then Florida, and just moving around these different like ICE locations and shit, and then like they sent him back to the wrong country, and it's just like, dude, that's fucking terrible. Like, do
you know how like fucked that has to be for your psyche?
For sure. And then also like
they're detaining you as if you committed like a felony.
Yeah,
like
you're in fucking general admission or whatever the fuck they call it. Gen Pop, with all the other fucking people that are like local serial killers and shit, and you just were trying to better your life, and now you're fucking caught up in that shit, man.
And God forbid you're not eloquent in English. My biggest fear is being stuck in a jail where I can't speak the language, bro.
Yeah, for real.
I've seen those documentaries. That shit's fucking insane.
Yeah, because bro, you are literally target number one. People could be planning to line you up in front of you, and you'll be none the wiser.
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I think a wall and like certain policies could help mitigate some type like problematic shit, because watching that really like fucked me up. Like a lot of those people were my friends. These are people that I knew that this was their way out, and they had that delusional faith that everything was going to work, and when it didn't, like their family had to face the brunt of it. So like I said, when it comes to politics and stuff, it's so nuanced for me because I disagree with like 50% of what these motherfuckers say, and then I agree with like some of their more nuanced takes too. But I also want to educate myself more on all the policies and stuff so that I can come more correct in this situation. Like when we talk about rap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to well verse myself better. If that makes sense.
But how old are you?
I just turned 27.
Okay. All right, yeah, because you said high school. I'm like, damn, how long was high school? I mean, fucking like,
I know.
Trump got elected in my freshman year of college.
Okay.
For the first time, to put it in perspective.
That's good. Yeah, we're just
like
coming to terms with
my
like
teacher started crying and kicked us out when she saw Hillary was losing.
Hilarious, dude. Hillary is a fucking terrible candidate. Like,
bro, anyone who has a secret server that can't be tracked in their basement, that like, what the fuck? See, that's what I mean about like, I need to be able to trust my weirdos. Like,
yeah, man, like that shit. I just, I don't know. There's the amount of like, because when I was a kid, like, you know, good old fucking Bill Clinton seemed like a nice, good old down to earth type of guy. Played saxophone, had like a, you know, ate a little bit too much, you know, fucked a secretary, whatever. There's like, you know, typical regular president, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of like see the policies and shit that like that the Clintons were in on with like, you know, privatized prisons and 3 strikes you're out and all that kind of shit. And you're like, these are the people that you actually got elected in office from, right? The black and brown community was really a big, he connected with them a lot. And then you simultaneously are making these fucking policies that are going to lock up that community on some easy shit. Like get caught with like 3 joints in fucking Texas. You're gone for life, dude.
Mm-hmm.
For life. Because they got funding from their fucking like, you know, bankrolls to make more prisons. And they have to have like a certain quota and certain like occupancy.
Yeah, bro.
It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Hillary just wanted to be the first female president. So it was like, dude, like those fucking debates. Did you watch those? I mean, were that something you watched when you were a kid in high school?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
because that shit was hilarious, man. Like her fucking like it, dude. It was like a WWE fucking like, you know, promo, you know, conversation. Like I'm gonna. She's just like rolling her eyes and like, look at this guy. What's he even saying?
Getting all worked up and shit.
Yeah,
for no
this dude is
reason.
so fucking tacky.
Looking immature than a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
I wish we could just still say WWF. Like,
Yeah.
does anybody really? If you say WWF, are people gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" Like
when I hear
because-
WWF, I just think of like Andre the Giant.
Yeah. But like I don't think anybody's ever been like had to correct himself and being like, "What are you talking about?" I'm talking about wrestling, the World Wrestling Federation. You know, like
yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like it's one of those weird things that like the name changed in our lifetime, so it's confusing now, right? Because like it used to be the Cleveland Indians, but I don't know what the fuck their new team name is. You know what I mean? There's just like those weird changes, like
the
you know,
Clevelands.
Yeah, at some point in time, like there's generations that were born and died that entire time, and no one seemed to have a problem.
Yeah,
But
the Washington Redskins. It's
Yeah,
not like a thing anymore. Like all those.
Yeah, we're too PC, bro.
Yeah.
Like if it didn't offend you 20 years ago, let's just.
Also, it's a hilarious fucking name, anyways, because it's like it's making fun of ourselves as fucking morons. Where it's just like we came to a place where like, no, you're Indians. This is India, right? Like that's the whole fucking like you know where that name derives from.
Yeah, because we just assume shit and then take it as our own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're
the
Indians
first
now.
one's here. And you're Indians.
What do you think about the Tyson fight and Jake Paul?
I think Jake Paul's weird for trying to beat up a 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Tyson is negligent to his health for hopping into a ring as someone who eats handfuls of mushrooms and has CTE multiple times to let arguably like a top 10 fighter in the circuit whoop on you. Like, it'll be good entertainment, but it's like, why are you putting yourself at risk at 60 when you really don't have to? Because Jake can actually box now. Like, if you'd done this 3 years ago, yeah, this would have been funny. Mike would have. Jake is a seasoned fighter now.
Yeah,
he's getting there. He definitely hasn't fought anybody that's like a real boxer yet.
I'm comparing him to himself. Like his form, his technique, like the kid has got the fundamentals down now. He's big enough. If he knocks Mike wrong,
yeah, he could definitely like hurt somebody if he lands it like a
again. Remember,
punch.
this fool is 60. Yeah, he's Mike Tyson. He is 64.
Yeah,
he is 64 fighting.
But
a
he's
64.
pretty quick though, dude.
Yes, bro.
Mike Tyson's 64.
Old as fuck. That's why he's just eating shrooms on a podcast. He has no business fighting anybody. The bag must have been so tremendous. He fuck the ball. Fuck knock this motherfucker out.
Yeah.
But no, I
thought it was like 58 or something.
No,
Not that that's like any better, but still.
a 26-year-old tries fighting your 56-year-old dad. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Exactly. You'd be like, yo, this looks crazy.
Yeah.
The only reason anyone's letting this slide is because it's Mike Tyson. Any other senior citizen who could eat off the 55 up menu at Denny's, bro, it would look crazy with them fighting at 25.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm definitely watching it though.
Did you watch the fight yesterday with Haney and Ryan?
I didn't. I was out, but I one of my coworkers bet $3,000 that Garcia would win, and yeah, he won a fucking $11,000. And I was like, you're the only person I know that bet that. And it was like the odds were like so crazy against Garcia. And I was watching some of the pre-fight stuff and like the you know, like the talking with those guys beforehand, and everyone was like, oh yeah, I forget the other guy's name, but he was like, just looked like a bigger guy, and he was more seasoned. It was like, you know, on like some winning streak and like just all around.
Haney had all the balls in his court.
Yeah, like everybody, I didn't hear anything bad said about that guy, and it was just like, oh yeah, he's just definitely gonna win. And then they said that Ryan Garcia was like loses his mind or something, and I'm like, I've seen videos of him, and he just seems to be just, hey, I'm gonna show you how to box and do this, you know. Like I didn't see any of the crazy shit he said, but like
he was talking about he saw kids getting touched in the woods, like
that Bohemian Grove or something. Yeah, that's it's all sorts of like crazy shit. I don't know anything about that though.
Bro, he violated Haney.
Did he really?
Got him to the ground like 8-9 times.
Really?
Yes, bro. Rocked his shit. It went the distance, but bro, it was a sweep. I really think all the lunacy. I think he might have had a manic episode, and then his team was like, "Yo, we gonna roll with this." Yeah, he's better than are you sure? No, we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna let these motherfuckers think you crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's a mixture of him actually being crazy and then a publicity stunt, because he still came into the weigh-in 3 pounds over drinking a beer.
Yeah.
So the fight didn't count.
He got like fined like $1.5 million or something for that.
Yes.
That's what I thought too, because I was like, if you don't make the weigh-in, like then you don't fight, right?
No, you just don't get the title, but you could still take the title from the other person. So there's just no champion right now.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy.
So yeah, I know I'm not gonna win the belt, but I'm gonna strip that shit off of you, though.
Yeah, that's dope. That's a G to move, to go in there and drinking a beer and like, this isn't for. I'm not even taking the belt. I'm just a fucking beat your ass, make you also not be the champion.
I mean, Ryan Garcia is an impressive boxer, though. Now compare his ability to Jake Paul's ability. It's like a fucking, it's night and day.
But we're also talking about 2 different weight classes too.
True, but you can still see the ability though. Like the technique.
Oh, Ryan's a nut.
He is like fucking phenomenal.
Ryan was juggling this motherfucker's face with jabs, and I was thoroughly entertained. I thought he was gonna get violated. This fool came in drunk off a White Claw and took some names, bro.
What was the weight that those guys were boxing at? Like 130 something?
Like 140. He came in at 143.
And what's Jake Paul, like 180?
It was like 200.
Is he really?
Jake Paul's a big motherfucker, bro.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. His heavy-handed ass knocking Mike Tyson in the temple,
bro.
Yeah,
I mean, if he does connect, it's a fucking, you could have a devastating blow, especially with fucking like Tyson's like prior brain injury.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
What if like Tyson dies?
That is a real possibility.
I know. What if he dies,
bro?
Dude?
You get
from a
rocked
YouTube
at
star,
68.
Like I was thinking of that. Like
not
I was
so
like,
Iron Mike.
You know
Tyson.
how crazy that'd be if everyone, because everyone and their grandma's gonna fucking watch this,
bro.
And what if he fucking kills him, and everyone's like, oh, we gotta cut. Like, oh, we gotta go to commercial or some shit.
And
like,
fuck that. It's gonna be live on Netflix. That would be the most epic thing ever streamed on live television.
But it would be like so sad at the same time. It'd be
would
like,
it be he signed the paperwork? I can't be
sad.
sad.
He's a childhood fucking icon.
It would be so sad.
Like,
it would be like
he died doing what he loved. It's not like some Kobe shit where he died in a helicopter. He died in combat.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it is what he loved, I guess. But it'd still be a bummer. It'd be like, man, Mike Tyson's dead. Like,
fuck that. He's like 60 something. He died in battle. Bro,
if
you watch any anime and shit, any old motherfucker who lives till 70 and dies in battle, you don't feel. You're like, yo, he went out like a G. No, mind you, I would rather Mike Tyson die in battle to someone who
like Holyfield.
It's like the Obi-Wan fucking move for him to
bro.
Drops his rope.
Yeah, they go out like that would be just a bummer.
Bro, and I feel like that would turn Jake Paul into the most insufferable
What if
person.
Tyson kills Jake Paul?
Ooh.
Oh, just like that starts would eating his face and shit?
I think you would get the opposite reaction. Everyone would be like, yeah. I honestly don't think anyone would give a fuck. It would be like, all right, cool. Like,
I think I'd be way more concerned. I'm like, yo, don't need to lock this demon up. Dude, you think like do this damage at 60, bro? You're cage this motherfucker.
Give him more mushrooms. Keep him fucking sedated.
Oh, he's probably gonna come off the shrooms like tripping and beat up Jake.
Dude, the fucking photos of the cops surrounding him and like after he bit Holyfield. Did you see those guys? They're fucking like scared. Like he's just a fucking. He's still a brick shithouse at that point. Like just
yeah, bro. If you saw a 240 brolic ass motherfucker bite someone's ear off and you were ordered to sedate him,
you
would really question if your salary was worth it that day.
That shit's gonna be fucking crazy. I cannot wait to watch that. I just hope.
Who's your money on?
I don't have any money on it.
I'm going for Tyson for sure.
I mean, I'll go for Tyson for sure if I have a bet on it. But like, just out of principle, like
y'all can put your money on the senior citizen. I got my bread on Jake, bro.
All right,
yeah, let's do it.
How much you want to bet on that?
I'll bet you $1.
I'll double that. We can do $2.
Right.
I'll clean them off both of you.
You heard it live.
It's on. It's on. It's record,
official,
bro.
It's official.
They really bet on the 60-year-old man to beat up the 25-year-old, but it's cool. It's cool.
I want that fucking comeback story. I want to see a senior citizen boxer come back and fuck with like some real force. Cause like Tyson in his prime, and I granted he's like 4 decades past his prime, but was fucking insane just to watch him the second the bell rings, just come out, just fucking like,
you know what they need to bring back? You remember that celebrity boxing shit?
Yeah.
It was like Carrot Top fighting like fucking, I don't know, like
Carrot Top was swole. That was a good
one.
one.
He was way swole. Like that guy was swole, he's not as swole anymore. But he was like fucking super
yoked up for no reason, bro.
Just so jacked.
Microphones are heavy, dude. All those props, you know?
Yeah. Carrying them watermelons on stage and shit.
Good for him fucking doing the prop thing and sticking to it because he's the funniest fucking prop guy that there is. There's nobody that's funnier or does that like that at least at that level.
That's where how he got so swole. It's like Highlander. There could be only one prop comic.
Can I give you guys a question?
Yeah.
Okay. For comedians, who is in your Mount Rushmore?
Bill Burr.
He's in mine. Him and Dennis Leary for sure.
George Carlin.
Carlin for sure. Yeah, Bill Burr. Who else? Myself.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Yeah. No, fuck else. Oh, dude, Chris Rock. Chris Rock is like one of my favorite.
I was gonna Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
My top 3, I would say Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, and Bill Burr are right now my Mount Rushmore. Like those guys are fantastic, and I know there's like comics that like paved the way to make those guys who they are, like Richard Pryor and who's the other guy, like the like super old, is like a white guy, Jewish guy.
Seinfeld.
No, fuck Seinfeld. He's like one of the first like comics to kind of like talk shit. It's like black and white videos of him and stuff. He's like a New York comic.
Oh, you talking about like shit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just fucking please.
I know. I'm fucking blanking too. But like that guy like paid like one of those. He's like one of the first comics like paved the way for other comics.
It wasn't all that
like,
funny though. That's the thing. It's like because Carlin was coming up around the same time. They were both the dudes that like swore and got arrested for swearing and shit like that. But like George Carlin is like a fucking really well written fucking comic, and then became almost like a prophet towards the end. You know what I mean? But like
who's yours? Who's your top 3?
Top 3. First of all, Mount Rushmore is 4 people, so I don't like that you guys only gave me 75% of the answer.
I said so 4. Stupid.
Yeah, he said 4. He didn't understand the fucking assignment. It's good though. His Mount Rushmore looking.
It's a blank space. That's it. You sure you want one more? Nope. That's all. Yeah.
No, send me the invoice. I don't have any more for labor in the budget. But my Mount Rushmore.
3 people.
Who's your top 3 out of 4?
But my Mount Rushmore would be Dennis Leary. That was the first comic I ever had make me cry off comedy.
What album or special?
I don't even remember. I used to find them shits on YouTube because it used to be like the 30-minute Comedy Central sets that came in the mid 2000s, and then I would just type in his name on YouTube and just marathon his shit. But I just loved how like, because my stepdad, he was an asshole. He was in the union. He had a really dark, satirical sense of humor. Yeah. So Dennis was like that, but in like a scraggly white guy, and I fucked with it. So yeah, Dennis Leary, Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, and then who's the 4th one? I feel like that's a pretty solid 3. The 4th one has to.
Dude, the 4th one's the hardest. That's why I just stopped.
Yeah, but I'm not a fucking quitter. Unlike honestly, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I really fuck with Seth Rogen, not as a stand-up comic, but just like all of the classic comedy adjacent things that he's curated, from the Superbads to the
I like Seth Rogen's stuff. I always
Pineapple
enjoy
Express,
his,
bro.
Yeah, Pineapple Express.
You have to think Pineapple Express came out when I was 13, smoking weed out of apples, bro.
That's funny.
That shit.
This is the end. Is good too. That's another Seth.
You were like twice your age at that time, like 26 or
just started smoking weed
out of apples and shit. Yeah,
late bloomer over here.
Super late bloomer.
You started smoking weed when like I'm now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like I remember we were like, oh man, like we're drinking too much. Like there's got to be something else. Tony's like, there's stuff called weed, man. He's like, I smoked it once in high school. And I was like, oh really? And he's like, yeah, it's like you don't have a hangover and none of this shit. And I was like, all right. And then we got some weed from a buddy of his, and then
we're like both like promised like the handshake. Like we're only gonna do this on weekends in replacement of alcohol. And then it's just like. And then like every day I was like, you want to smoke a little weed right now?
Yeah, so much,
just like
so much food consumed. Just like going to Ralph's, stoned out of her fucking mind.
Did you have like a house bong? You seem like the bong boys.
Yeah,
several bongs. I
already knew it was a.
We had a couple putting ice in it and shit.
Oh, we did. We had a volcano. We had a bong. We had fucking all sorts of crazy shit. I still have the
volcano.
We spent probably like $100,000 on weed from like the time we started till like time we lived together, which was like 12 years. We had like a medicine cabinet that was like in our living room that was like yay big, maybe like 3 feet deep, like 4 feet tall, and it was packed with eighths. Packed.
Yeah, it's like the early days
from
before
front to back, top to bottom.
Bro, because when people start smoking weed and they actually like find out the little nuances in it, it breeds cannabis enthusiasts.
Oh, dude, for sure. Because like I think weed is the one thing out of all the beer I ever drank in my life or wine, I can't pick out like flavor profiles like I can with weed. And then the dispensary we used to go to, there was like, you want like Afgoo and fucking like Snow Cap is a Snow Goo or some shit, like all these fucking little like hybrids and shit. So like I had the eighth of the one, the eighth of the other, and the hybrid in between. Like I had a fucking OCD organized like weed cabinet. We probably had about fucking 200 or 300.
And the irony of it is like the time we were smoking the most weed, we were paying the most for it. And then when we both kind of stopped smoking weed, that's when like everybody was like, you want weed? Like, I got my own grow op. Here, have a bag of weed. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And I was like, fuck, now when I could actually, don't have to pay for it, now I don't want to smoke.
My fucking ex-wife owns a dispensary, so I have just like weed up to the gills.
That's a blessing.
Yeah,
I have people who be giving me free weed too. Shout out to Press House 710 for the free gas. Best 420 pack you'll ever get. Shout out Press House 710. Press House 710.
Like and subscribe. Get it.
Subscribe.
Follow them.
Do you guys still smoke weed, or was that just one?
No, I still smoke weed. Yeah.
I stopped for probably like over a year now, maybe longer.
See,
probably
true quitter right there.
Can't Alex, if you're hearing this, bring me something to roll up with.
Yeah.
What made you stop?
I just was like, wasn't getting like high really anymore. Like I was like to the point where I wasn't getting like.
That's when you initially stopped, but then you did get extremely high when I gave you like a 5 milligram.
Again, like I said, I
5
stopped.
milligrams.
Yeah, he's a big pussy now.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like, but here's the thing, whatever it was, because so I get all these like weird samples that are like, it's a company trying to get into like my ex's store, right? So like, I don't know if this shit's really been vetted or tested, but whatever those 5 milligrams were. It was it hit really fucking hard. It hit like a 20. And it had a really fucking quick onset. I swear to God. I was like, damn, I'm like pretty fucking faded. And I didn't really think much about it because I can usually like get in that mindset and kind of navigate. Where it fucking laid this kid out and you got to spin.
But that's like for smoking for like 12 years, like smoke in the morning, smoke when I get home, like all day, all night, smoking, right? Eating edibles. I made my own edibles, my own cookies. I sold them. I was doing everything with weed. And it got to a point where I was like, all right, this is like, I'm just kind of wasting money. I'm not really getting that high. The high's not lasting that long. Now I'm just like in a habit of smoking.
You might as well be smoking cigarettes at this point.
Exactly. So I was like, this is just not really doing anything. So I'm like, if I take a break, then when I would do this, like when I was smoking the 12 years, I'd take like a break for a week or two, right? And then it'd be like, take a hit and I'd be like, oh damn, it's back, And then I'd go into the habit of every day and then it'd go away again. So then I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm just going to stop. So I stopped for like a year and then he gave me this fucking edible and I got fucked up. Like I was fucking like throwing up, spinning, fucking, I was like canceled any plans I had that night. I was just like,
I'm like, here, take this. I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Came back. He was a mess.
Yeah.
I was an absolute mess. And I'm like, okay, this shit is just like, I don't want to have to go through that like growing process of getting back to like, being able to smoke every day. And I'm like, now I'm like fucking super like cautious of like taking any kind of cannabis because I know it'll just fuck me up.
What about shrooms? You ever done shrooms?
Yes.
I love shrooms.
I've done shrooms, but that's definitely a different like high. I still get a little like kind of like spinny a little bit, but I haven't done like enough, I think, to really get the full shroom thing.
Yeah, you're either microdosing or you're jumping the shark. And I feel like until you're comfortable with it and know how shrooms are going to feel as like the highs building up in your body, you should not just smack an eighth to the face. And if you do, have someone who's not on shrooms sit you so they could talk you down and like hear all your crazy conspiracy theories going in your head. Because, bro, your mind be going a million miles a minute off shrooms. But I think it could be one of the most therapeutic things for the mental.
I think it is too. Yeah. I think that also the main thing is just remember, like, you took drugs. That's like the main thing mantra I have through my head. Like you're doing like don't panic too much because this is you asked for this. You
like,
know
no, if the floor was swerving back and forth and you were sober, no, call a doctor.
For sure,
That's
for
very
sure.
concerning.
For sure.
But no, you put a hallucinogen in your body. You got to let it rock its course. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay.
An eighth, you think, is like that's like way too much, or is that like
an eighth is if you're really trying to trip? But if you're doing an eighth, you got to plan your day around it. Like, I'd have some snacks on deck.
I've done like a big ass stem and like the top part.
So you probably done like 2 grams. You've probably done like 2 grams.
But again, is it like there's probably more potent ones and less potent ones and all that kind of shit? So it's like
the thing is with shrooms, it's like you have to remember it's at the end of the day you're poisoning yourself. No, for real. The psilocybin in the mushroom, like say you do some shrooms and take a drug test, it comes out as food poisoning.
Really?
Yeah. So that's another reason I always tell people drink hella water, have some food in your system, have things to offset the toxins that you're about to put in your body. Because shrooms are less abrasive to your body than alcohol and a lot of other things. They still can fuck you up, and especially if you're compounding them with other things like drinking in shrooms. Not the move.
Yeah.
You're just putting your liver and kidneys through the gauntlet.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd definitely be if I start doing drugs again, it'd be like that mushrooms. So I haven't done any other drugs ever. So just like weed and mushrooms.
I won't do any other drugs. I know my dumbass. Like everything that I've started to do, I do regularly. Like started with cigarettes. I was like, I'll just have one of these. I smoked every day for fucking ever. And then I quit like when I was 30. But I smoked for like 19 years. But then drinking has been like, I still drink, clearly. And then when we started smoking weed at 26, that's just become in my rotation. Like, so
I think it's like the best risk reward too, like weed and shrooms. Like you're getting like the best bang for your buck. Whereas like all these other drugs these kids take, like Molly and Coke and all this other crazy shit. I'm like, it's like made in a lab. And then there's also a chance of like fentanyl getting into it. So it's like, all right, I got to get my narco fucking thing in case it's like, got shit in it. It's like, all right, what are we doing here?
Is
like,
it that worth it to get high, bro?
Yeah. Like, it's like, just stick with like the natural things. And
let me just test my beer to make sure it's okay. I'm not going to kill me. Like,
It just kind of seems like I like have anxiety already. So like, why would I like, that seems like I just have anxiety from
recreational anxiety.
I feel like shrooms are even less abrasive than weed as far as like an addictive component, because how are you gonna be a functioning member of society? Like you have enough foresight to know, I have to drive today. I can't just do 2 grams of shrooms.
Yeah. Right.
Motherfuckers will take a couple dabs and smoke a blunt and hop behind that wheel.
Right.
So like just because of how shrooms work and how much respect you have to have for the substance, I feel like people don't play with it as much.
Yeah.
Like you don't know that many people who are just avid shroom heads. Where like that's what they're doing daily, because it's not conducive to productivity unless you're in a creative space.
Yeah.
Like I've microdosed shrooms and done podcasts here, but it's like, am I gonna Uber for 12 hours off shrooms? Am I gonna fix my cover letter off shrooms? Like no.
Right.
It's a case by case thing. Meanwhile, with weed, you can damn near justify smoking almost any occasion.
Yeah.
Like, I just got off of work. Let me smoke. Oh, fuck. I had to go into work. I don't like these motherfuckers. Let me smoke. Like,
I do kind of miss like smoking a joint and watching like some really cool shit about like space or like science and like fucking just tripping out about like the universe and stuff like that. I still do that now, but having
fun.
Having a little weed, is definitely, makes you, I don't know, just more involved with the topic, I guess.
The space documentaries off shrooms are my shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking like The World at Night documentary shit. I think it's on Apple or something like that. That shit's crazy. It's all like night vision cameras and stuff like that. You see like lions, just all the shit just doing their.
I always thought that was some of the coolest cinematography work you could ever do, because you're either in the field in like Africa or Zimbabwe or whatever, or it's like a video game. You're controlling this fucking robot that's going through the fucking grasslands and shit. Either way, that's super tight.
Yeah.
And they be getting some of these like one of one ass shots in moments of like animals giving birth, animals fucking fighting for a mate, animals like saving their fucking young from dying. Like,
there's one that's like a lost cub. It's like a lion cub that goes missing and shit like that. And like the film crew's slowly following behind, but like the mom and they knew where the kid was, the fucking cub was and shit.
And
like
they can't like
exactly
they can't like
interfere
help
for some reason.
Yeah.
But like they eventually found it, but just watching that whole moment and like you could see the panic in the fucking like lioness's face as well, her body movements just like frantically, and finds it. There's like this happy reunion, but like these what the fuck are the hyenas were like about to fucking like pounce on the cub and shit. That it's crazy, dude. Like
it was Lion King in real life.
It really was, man.
I love watching those fucking like safari fucking documentary things like on the History Channel or like Nature Channel, and they have hippos, and hippos just fuck everything up.
Hippos and alligators are both scary as fuck.
But hippos will fuck up alligators. Hippos are the fucking king of the jungle. They're the real king of the jungle.
Any animal with a tooth built like this, I'm not fucking with you.
They will. And they're aggressive as fuck. They're like one of the most aggressive animals, and they're just fucking so heavy, and just their mouths are like, I think the pressure is like, it's like 300 times more than any other animal. And they just
back of a garbage truck.
Yeah, they like they just
like
fuck everything up.
A live animal.
They had this one video I watched where this alligator like fucked up a baby hippo, and all the other hippos would just see them like their heads turn, and they'll just start like running in the fucking water. It's a giant ass fucking crocodile, or I don't know what the difference, crocodile or alligator.
Crocodiles live on land. It's fine.
Salt water, and
some
one's like
stupid
fresh
shit. It's like
water.
turtles and tortoises.
Yeah. Giant fucking one of those things though. And the hippos just fucking throwing it around, fucking it up, like and there's like a whole fuck ton of these crocodiles and alligators everywhere. And they were like, all of them are getting out of the way.
I don't know him.
Yeah, they're like,
want the smoke.
They didn't want any of the smoke, but
No,
they're like just such a vicious animal. Like they're so fucking crazy. They had a guy that fucking raised one of those things like from a baby, and then it fucking killed him.
I was about to make a joke. I'm gonna know when your fucking Apple Music podcast check hits because you're gonna have a fucking big ass hippo tied to a tree. Yeah, he guard the back.
Yeah, man. That's
Step up from a pit bull.
Yeah, it's so much
Yeah,
time
shit, right?
just watching videos on the internet is just amazing though. Like fucking what kind of stuff do you watch like when you're just like sitting at home chilling?
Let me see. A bunch of nerd shit. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see what my YouTube.
Do you find yourself trying to educate yourself more on things that you find interesting, or is it just kind of like watching stuff that's like I don't know, that pops up on a feed, or like, you know, like clips and that kind of stuff?
Let me see. Right now my YouTube feed is someone playing a Pokemon ROM hack, someone talking about Drake's freestyle with the AI Tupac, someone talking about Naruto, No Jumper podcast, some more Naruto shit,
What's Naruto?
It's an anime. It's where I got this shit on my hand from. Some Pokemon shit, some more anime shit, Moist Critical, he's a big YouTuber. Some more podcast clip. No, I'm a fucking nerd, bro. Like honestly, like unless it's like a think piece on like a case like Sam Bankman-Fried or something.
Yeah.
Where it's like a video essay or something. I'm on some nerd shit, bro.
Yeah.
I'd be so wrapped up in the music industry, and I have no friends who like have those particular interests that in my free time I duck off and just.
Did you ever watch like Mr. Beast?
Yeah, I fuck with bro.
Yeah,
Cool.
like I've like I didn't really know much about him. Then I like got like sidetracked one night, and I was like, "What is this?" And then it was like, we paid a guy $1 million, or paid him like $10,000 a day to stay in this grocery store, and like he lasted like, you know, $1.5 million worth of days, whatever, and like then you just record him and like fuck with him and stuff. But it's like that guy invests so much fucking money into all of his like videos. They're amazing.
He
like,
did in the beginning, but now you have to think he has 100 million subscribers. A company will give him $1 million to do a video now.
Oh yeah, he's making. I think he has more than that now. I think he's like one of the top paid, or if not the most, like.
No, for sure, bro. He has a chocolate bar in Walmart.
Yeah,
Mr. Beast.
Yeah,
is
the Mr.
so
Beast
super
bar.
good. Like he had the Mr. Beast burger for a second. Like he
does really good stuff with his money too. He'll like give food to the poor and like help charities,
bro,
and like
he
go and put
cured 100 people's blindness, and people were somehow saying he was doing it for like publicity or clout. I don't give a fuck if he's doing it for.
Yeah.
If I'm blind and he wants an Instagram tag afterwards, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that is a fair trade, bro.
He does like cool shit though. I like respect him. Like he does like, I feel like he's like a good person. Like he's like with his power and like, you know, fame, he's really done like the most like, you know, and what is it? when you're like help people? What's it called?
Helper. Yeah.
No, anthropic and
altruistic. No, that's not the word.
Philanthropic. Philanthropist.
Yes, philanthropist. What is a philanthropist?
Dude, you keep fucking me up with words. You're like taking the word out of my brain too.
I'm making you dumber by hanging out with me.
Christ, like,
bro wants to use a word that he don't even know, and then hopes you'll come with the assist.
I do it all the time, though.
Part of the fucking. You're
like
my, yeah.
You're like my fucking human dictionary.
I used to be a genius until I met Eric. It's brought me down.
My brain don't work so good.
Nah, my brain processes like 24 FPS. It's the weed.
Yeah. I should blame it on the weed, but I can't. I was just always this dumb.
Nah, I'm not too far off. I got some stories. I've done a lot of stupid shit.
Hence the 3 people on Mount Rushmore.
Fuck is that dude's name now? I'm trying to.
Whose dude's name?
The comic you're talking about that I can't.
Oh, you're back to the old black and white comic. Okay.
It's like
you can see
it's like Bruce.
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce. Yeah.
I'll usually get a letter or a word of the first half or something, and then I rely on you.
You can also fucking steer it down the wrong direction right away. It's just like
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne. Hilarious. Yeah.
No.
Oh, I've read something crazy about Bruce Wayne, the real Bruce Wayne. Like there was a guy like I think in Australia that he was a rich dude that like inherited a bunch of money from his family, and he fucking wore like the Batman mask. Like there was a real fucking like mask like that,
and everyone just thought he was a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, but he went around town and like fucking beat up people that were like doing bad shit, and like he was like a vigilante fucking.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a real guy. Some old white guy fucking like with a beard and like wore the Batman mask.
You see, when you break that down like as a real human being, sounds like a case. Sounds like something I'm called the police over.
Yeah, right.
Like, yo, can someone get the Batman from the alley down the street?
I'm sure there's more to that story. He was probably like a slave owner or fucking some racist white guy from back in the day.
Say he wasn't though. Like, how was he coming up on these criminals and shit? That I feel like he's like doing his vigilante work on. You know what I mean? Because like, that's the other part too. Is you got to like find the bad guys. Like,
I don't know.
Or you just waiting for the moment where like you just wait until someone snatches a person. Like, oh shit, I'm gonna put this mask on.
It's like an old rich white guy from back in the day. Chances are he's probably doing something bad.
Yeah, for sure. He's putting his mask on. He's like, oh, there's a black person in a white area. Get him.
That's what I'm saying. How did he choose
exactly.
who to fight crime on?
And his mask was a hood. And he was a Klansman. Yeah.
I'm fucking with this shit, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Anytime, bro.
Crossed paths many times, and it's kind of cool to just hang out.
About damn time. Yeah. You got any more questions for me? I'm an open book. I'm ready for anything.
Okay, so how did you get into the hip hop world? So you obviously from music, but you actually produce and engineer. You also perform. Like what?
I manage artists. I executive produce records. I A&R shit. It started from me selling weed to rappers because like I was just coming up here visiting my dad's side of the family over in like Crenshaw. Okay. And I found out they had to grow. And I was like, oh shit, I need ends here. So then I just started trimming like 12, 16-hour days, like 2-3 pounds at a time.
That's a hard job too.
Bro, it's so whack. I would never do it again.
Yeah.
It builds character though.
Yeah.
I would make my son start trimming at 16. I think that would be a good job to teach you how to like do a monotonous task that is not fun at all. And I would make sure he's trimming wet weed so he couldn't even smoke it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one day I went to a party and I met a really big rapper, and then I stayed at his house for like a month because he took a liking to me. And then I was just with him for the whole month. Mind you, he going to BET weekend. We're pulling up to the Toy Story 4 movie premiere. Like a bunch of random shit. Meanwhile, like when I'm not in LA, I'm working at a bar in San Diego. So it's like I feel like Bruce Wayne. Like I come into LA and I'm living a completely different life. But one day I'm just sitting here. I'm like, fuck, dude. This guy's an A&R for Warner. This guy's a representative for Ethica. This guy's a producer for Skrillex and Justin Bieber. What legitimizes me being in this room besides like having some weed on me? So then I started throwing shows and shooting content, and then shot content with a couple of different artists that I took a liking to, started managing them, got a couple acts signed, and the rest is history. I fucking worked on my first festival that we threw last week.
Isn't it crazy how many like people you can meet in a short amount of time just from living in this area?
No,
like,
for sure.
Because I have so many friends in San Diego that I'm like, if you guys just move up here, like, bro, this would all work faster.
I don't even talk to San Diego people about following their dreams because, bitch, wake up at 10 p.m. and hit the road. You'll be here before midnight, and you have a better chance of going to a bar in the middle of the night and meeting someone in LA who will change your life than sitting in San Diego.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, it's 120 miles away. It's not like you're in Wichita, Kansas, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you are, go to fucking Austin. There are so many reasons people have to why their shit's not moving.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I would have so many friends that would like talk about it like it was like in a different country. I'm like, it's literally
Your whole band was like that.
Yeah, I was like, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive like north.
it's a $45 Greyhound ride. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
You
it's
can even
not,
take the train and sleep on the train.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that taxing of an endeavor to move to LA. Not saying move permanent, but get your ass up here, get some shit done, and then come home with something to show for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, you actually have to be outside. Like, you can have the most immaculate music ever, but if you live in LA and never leave your house, what the fuck do you expect people to find you just because you're in LA?
Yeah.
Right.
Just knock on your apartment door like, hey, do you got some good music in here?
Yeah, bro. People will be so delusional with that shit. So
Yeah.
What's some stuff? This is like the time of the podcast where we like to ask our guests like what they have coming up, where we got anything coming out.
JR the AR, follow me on Colorblind ENT, like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. I got a few podcasts dropping this week. My artist Gritty Lex has an album dropping in May. We're going on tour with Shorty end of April. I'll be on the road for like a month. My other artist Cashed Out Kari has an album dropping in May. Shit, just a bunch of content, man. Whether from the music side or the podcast side. I'm just loading up the clip because I got a bunch of shit to dump on them.
What about you, Tony? Where can people find you?
I don't have near as much shit going on. Like, I'm at Tony Klein Comedian, and there's really not a lot of shit that I ever post because I'm an old ass man and I don't know social media.
There might be something in the works though. We're working on
some stuff in the works.
Working on something.
Keep waiting
big.
every day. Reload my fucking profile. Maybe something will pop up.
Yeah.
Eric, where can people find you?
You can find this podcast at the Eric and Tony Show on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can go to the ericandtonyshow.com, purchase yourself one of these beer mugs, and sit and listen to the show and drink a beer with us. We upload.
Come hang out, man. We're a good time.
Yeah, we're a good time. We're just having a good hang, good talk, good conversation. We upload 60-second clips every single day on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And then we upload the full version of this video, the full conversation every Monday on YouTube, and the full audio version on Spotify every Monday as well. So if you're driving, you can listen to us. If you're home, you want to sit around, listen, watch. And then you can find me and my personal account as Eric Rustler. Just says the same stuff, more clips and whatnot. And yeah, that's how you can find us. So make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bells and the jingles and all that shit. Thanks again for coming by.
Hey,
JR,
anytime, man.
appreciate
Shout out
you,
Eric
man.
and Tony. Love what you guys have been doing.
Thank you.
Long overdue.
Absolutely.
And
We'll have you back.
We'll do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime. Hell yeah.
Well, after the Tyson fight, we'll see who wins a bet.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta bring
yeah.
the money. You gotta bring the money you owe us.
No, yeah, no. I'm gonna come to collect. No, I have a reason to come back now.
I can't get a hold of JR anymore. He's not answering my call.
Yes, that is my call.
Why are my texts coming in green? Did he get an Android?
yeah, exactly. All right. Peace.
Have a great one, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe.